Indy 500 Films presents The Legends of the Brickyard.
Not since the days of Ted Horn has a man been so dominant at Indianapolis without ever winning. For the driver known as the Gas Man, that runner-up label seemed to be permanently stuck until 1983. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins.
And I'm Larry Newber. In his 10 years of competition, Tom Sneva had astounded the Indy crowds with a spectacular crash and spectacular speeds. But for the man who would quickly become a legend of the Brickyard, it took a spectacular late race charge to finally earn his spot on the Borg-Warner Trophy. And interestingly, the duo that Sneva battled with were setting history in their own way.
So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the fascinating 1983 Indianapolis 500.
For 11 months of the year, this is the way it looks at the heart of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There are no cars or people, only silence and the deserted main artery of Gasoline Alley. Then, in early May, a magic moment arrives. The pulse of life quickens. There is color, excitement, and the scream of fine-tuned racing engines. Most of all, there are racing drivers. In this very special, high-speed world, they are the lords of all they survey. Even the youngest and newest of them, like Al Unser Jr., comes to the 1983 Indianapolis 500 with a racing reputation well established. His father, Al Unser Sr., is a three-time winner with years still left to make it a fourth. Tom Sneva is a veteran of 124 championship races. His mechanic and car builder is George Bignotti. His record shows at least 88 victories, including 6 at Indianapolis and 8 national championships. The month-long drama begins as eager drivers in newly prepared machines search for the elusive top speed, which will guarantee them a preferential place in the race starting field. The hazards which follow this highly competitive profession help to make that place in the starting field very difficult to obtain. It remains then for the mechanic, the frequently unsung hero of racing, to toil long hours to repair the damage and second guess what problems the driver may be having with his new $175,000 machine. He may advise, argue, counsel, and exercise his mechanical genius. But ultimately, he must realize that the man sitting in the driver's seat has the last word. He is, in fact, the man in charge. The number of accidents for 1983 compares favorably with 1982. Perhaps the ground effects doesn't make that much difference. But try to tell that to three-time winner Johnny Rutherford, who will sit out the 83 500. Another three-time winner, Al Unser Sr., has this in common with his son. They both start even on qualifying day. But May 14th and 15th were wet and frustrating for racing hopefuls who waited until the next weekend for their chance at the 1983 starting field. In the pits, Tom Sneva has a visitor. A strange visitor wearing a racing suit. Sport Goofy, a Walt Disney character helping promote amateur athletics, wants attention. But Sneva keeps his race driver concentration on racing problems at hand. Tom didn't know that George Bignotti had hired this fugitive from the Magic Kingdom to work on the crew. Qualifying finally comes for the 67th annual Indianapolis 500. Mike Mosley boosts the speed to an average 205.372. A dream comes true for Al Unser Jr. He also crosses the magic 200-mile-an-hour barrier, 202.146. The checkered flag for the 1979 winner, Rick Mears, 204.301 miles an hour. His fans show they appreciate him. Allenser Sr., 201.954. Father and son will be competitors. Now Tom Sneva takes his turn. He also crosses that 200-mile-an-hour mark, 203.687. Then comes the biggest surprise of the month. A rookie, Teo Fabi, 27 years old, from Milan, Italy, casually cranks out 4 laps for a new all-time one-lap record of 208.049. His average is 207.395, and that ends the discussion about the pole starting position. Roger Mears drives his 4 laps at an average 200.108. Popular Jose Legarza, 195.671. Last year's man in charge, Gordon Johncock, 199.748. It is typical of this man, A.J. Foyt Jr., that he would qualify for his 26th consecutive 500, then hurry home to Houston to be with his terminally ill father. His name is Duke Neyland. He is a member of racing's Hall of Fame. His rookie year here at the Speedway was 1938, and he will drive the Buick Riviera pace car to start the 67th 500.
You know, it's ironic. This Buick pace car has got a lot more power than the first car I ever drove here in my rookie year. And to know that we have this type of power to be able to lead the fastest field for the 500-mile race ever. And as you can see here, we're pulling up into the groove where we'll be running on our pace laps, and we're running approximately the speed that will be necessary to keep the field in its proper order. We'll be running about 90 miles an hour up this back straightaway, and we'll maintain this speed until the tower tells us to bring the pace car home.
At the start, Duke will accelerate to 120 miles an hour, and during caution periods, he must gather up the field and become the man in charge until such time as it is safe to restart the 500.
Now, there have been several drivers who have followed in their father's footsteps by competing at Indianapolis. But in 1983, Allenser Sr. and Jr. set history by becoming the first father and son combination to run in the same 500. Interestingly enough, no second-generation driver has been able yet to join his father on the list of Indy 500 winners.
Race day, May 29th, 1983. 74 years ago, on August 19th, this Buick race car won the second event ever held at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Ironically, the man in charge was a young driver named Louis Chevrolet. Now, the modern counterparts of that first successful effort prepare to keep their appointment with history. Dramatic moments of the 500 are always a shock to the senses. The noise, the thunder of 33 200-mile-an-hour machines dueling for a front position are reasons which bring back racing fans year after year, some for a lifetime. Teo Fabi leads from the pole. Rick Mears is second, Mosley third, and Bobby Rahal fourth. In the 24th lap, Fabi pits and Mike Mosley leads. Next comes Rick Mears for 25 and 26th laps. Al Unser leads from the 27th to the 35th lap, and Tom Sneva moves up to second. In the main straightaway, Patrick Bedard brushes the wall and coasts to a stop. He's safe, but emergency crewmen rush to make sure. More bad news, this time for A.J. Foyt. The end of his 26th race is caused by a broken gear shift linkage. At 40 laps, Tom Sneva is leading. Al Unser Sr. second, Bobby Rahal third, and Fabi is in fourth. In the 45th lap, Roger Mears comes down the main straightaway in heavy traffic. A sudden skid, and Roger is into the turn one wall. He scrapes to a stop. Emergency crewmen rush to aid him. He's all right. The car can be fixed, but for another race. His dad, Bill Mears, wants to know where he is, and the disappointment of a year's work lost is part of the drama of racing. Teo Fabi pits on the caution light caused by Roger Mears' wreck. He is refueling when an O-ring malfunctions and the valve which keeps the tank closed will not operate. Fuel spills, and Fabi is out. He must settle for the Rookie of the Year honors.
In becoming the first rookie to win the pole since Walt Faulkner in 1950, Fabi virtually walked away with Rookie of the Year honors. Since his record-setting run, he has spent time competing both here in Indianapolis and on the Formula One circuit.
Jose Garza also joins the list of sideline drivers. Now, it's the 53rd lap. Bobby Rahal passes in the backstretch and takes the lead. Rahal still leads. Sneva is second. Unser Sr. is third in the 60th lap. Heavy traffic in the main straightaway. Mario Andretti is right behind Johnny Parsons Jr. Parsons spins in turn one. Andretti is forced to the wall. Both drivers are safe, but there are two less men in charge for this 500. In the 89th lap, with a caution light on, Tom Sneva makes a stop for fuel only. 11.6 seconds is all it takes. Al Unser Sr. leads. Mears is second. Al Jr. makes a quick stop. Sneva gets around Al Sr. and takes the lead. Gordon Johncock has been fighting a bulky engine all day, but he hangs on in 15th place. In the 160th lap of 200, there are still 15 cars running for the richest prize in history. In the 168th lap of the race, Gordon Johncock is coasting in turn 3. His gearbox has failed, and his chance for a third win is gone. Now, Mike Mosley, the early leader, is running in 6th position. Mosley Mosley is into the wall and out of the race on turn 2. Tom Sneva and Al Unser Sr. pit together under the yellow in the 172nd lap. Sneva is in first. His crew goes to work.
First 2 cars in the pit at the same time. And Al Unser right there in second place. Sneva.
Al Unser's crew fuels him in 11 seconds. He's got 28 laps to go. Sneva takes 23 seconds. He's got 28 laps to go, and now Al Unser Sr. has about a 10-second lead. Rick Mears fans watch as he makes a 10-second stop in the 173rd. The green flag is out as Duke Neyland pulls the Buick pace car into the pits. And now, a situation not uncommon to team racing develops. Al Unser Sr. leads, Tom Sneva is second, and right between them is Al Unser Jr., who is running several laps down. As they come up to the 190th lap, the duel continues, with Sneva using all his racing experience to pass the younger Unser. 10 laps to go, and at the approach to turn 1, Sneva moves by Al Jr. In turn 2, he moves up behind Al Sr. and starts up that long backstretch. There it is. He does it by sailing by Al Sr. and taking the lead. Sneva runs low on the track. Al Unser goes high and is blocked by 2 slower cars. Sneva increases his speed until he has a comfortable 11-second lead over Unser and 21 seconds over Mears. One more lap to go. And now comes what has been described as the longest lap in the race. Can the school teacher from Spokane, Washington, finally bring his car to winner's circle after repeated attempts since 1974? Down the straightaway, and there it is, the checkered flag. Tom Sneva is the man in charge. Tom's wife Sharon starts for winner's circle. She will run, and her husband will drive. The 67th running of the 500 is over.
Despite being the highest finishing rookie, Al Unser Jr. did not get the Rookie of the Year honors that year. That blocking maneuver, well, was also the year of Teo Fabi. Ironically, his father also lost his bid for rookie honors in 1965 to an upstart named Mario Andretti.
A lot of things have been written about the greatest moment in a race driver's career. That of winning the Indianapolis 500. People try to get him to explain what it's like to experience instant acclaim, to be faced with the problem of paying income taxes on the driver's share of the $385,000 first place purse. He must realize that wherever he goes from here on out, he will be a celebrity. Fans want to get a simple handshake. I'll never wash that hand again. Give a few kind words. Why, I saw you race 10 years ago at the Texas 200. Or bask in the aura of the man in charge. They think he's something very special, and he is. But deep down inside, he knows that he is a race driver who had a little luck, and at a crucial moment in the race, gritted his teeth and said to himself, "I'm going to win." And he did. And so Tom Sneva comes to his moment of glory. Whatever else happens to him in his lifetime, this moment will remain very special and indestructible.
The laurel wreath is offered up, and Tom Sneva accepts the salute from Sally French, our 500 festival queen. Tom, we've got a queen podium and a conversation coming.
Rick Mears' third place was worth $135,000, a pretty good day's pay. Al Unser Sr., he could have been a 4-time winner. And Al Jr., well, he's a veteran now, but he still doesn't look old enough to drink that Colorado beverage he advertises. And Tom Sneva, 300,000 fans greet him, the man in charge.
Well, that win not only made Tom Sneva a happy man, but it also pleased his banker pretty well, too. He won over $400,000 for his first ever Indy 500 win.
But Al Sr. probably got the last laugh. His $200,000 payoff for second made him the all-time money leader in the Speedway's history. In 21 appearances here, he has earned almost $2 million, and he went on that year to win the car championship. Sadly, 1983 was also the final 500 drive for veteran Mike Mosley, who started in the middle of the front row. Mosley, who survived several serious accidents here at Indy at nearly 200 miles an hour, was killed in a traffic accident in California during the winter. I'm Bob Jenkins.
And I'm Larry Newber. We told you of 2 rookie drivers in '83, but we haven't mentioned a certain first-year owner yet. Even though he fell in love with auto racing and competes as a driver on a different circuit, he's probably better known for his other, third profession. That's right, actor Paul Newman, who still co-owns the car driven by Mario Andretti. And well, that concludes another edition of Legends of the Brickyard.